Hey gang, how is everybody doing today? There's so much going on, it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, let's jump in. This whole story stems from a whole bunch of stuff that happened in a very short amount of time. And let's just jump in and make sure everything is working. I think it is, hope it is. And press play here. Yes, I turned up the volume for those who said I was too quiet. But here we go. So, the story today is how to get one Bitcoin fast, and the inspiration behind it, we'll get to it right now. Math, money, feeding, disclaimer, etc. But what we have is a super interesting situation. We have a new consistent buyer in the market. Check my video from last week regarding Luna, LFG, etc. The new buyer is Luna. They've been buying on average nearly $125 million in Bitcoin a day. And it's caused a lot of price action. The price action looked pretty good anyway before all this happened, but this has put rocket boosters onto it. Bitcoin is up 40% in the last 32 days. And the Luna team, just in the last 24 hours, bought about 2,830 Bitcoin. And this is putting a vast amount of pressure on the price going up. And I'm wondering who's actually selling. Anyway, very interesting to watch. Now, we spent most of 2021 telling folks the importance of having a focus and achieving one Bitcoin. We call it being a whole coiner, and it would be rarefied air in the future. Now we have a new generation that wants to own one. So this question came in from our community, and a big thank you to Clint W. Clint says, hey, I'm 23 years old, just started first full-time job. I'm trying to save as much as I can. I have 0.2 Bitcoin so far, 1/5 of a Bitcoin, but I feel I won't be able to get one Bitcoin fast enough before it pops. And again, this channel is about helping people find freedom. So first of all, Clint, awesome work. You're 23, you're young, you're in the right place, you're doing the right things. And this motivates us because we're going to talk not about 23-year-olds, but about anybody and the importance of the steps they're making. Now, this question we were going to pop into the Q&A yesterday, but we couldn't do it justice in the amount of time. And Dr. Watson, who is also in his 20s, came up with a couple of good ideas as to how to help somebody. So let's go. Let's explain why everybody needs Bitcoin. So this first point, this is a simple chart of showing the total US debt. And by the way, the debt is similar in other countries around the world. I'm just showing a US example. It's easier to pull the data. We just went above 30 trillion. We've gone up another 0.3 trillion since we broke 30 trillion a week or so ago. And the point is here, fiat is toast. Debt has gone from 5 trillion to over 30 trillion in 20 years. That's a 6x. And it is not stopping anytime soon. And President Biden just proposed a $5.8 trillion budget request for security, weapons, you name it, police, military, and a new structure to tax Americans more. But even the tax component won't cover a fraction of this debt. So the point is, they're borrowing and printing to infinity and beyond. And that's why the world needs hard assets. And that's why Bitcoin is, in our opinion, the hardest asset of all. So let's go forward and talk about what this means in simple terms, because people get bogged down by this. They don't understand the importance of having a hard asset. And this is a beautiful, simple illustration of how the dollar PP, which is purchasing power, decreases and Bitcoin purchasing power increases. You can see the dollar, the amount of stars you could buy over time, it becomes less and less. Think of a basket of goods. And Bitcoin, you can buy more and more. Now, the simple example was a fellow in Norway that bought a $500,000 apartment for 11,000 Bitcoin 7 years ago. That apartment's still worth about $550,000, but the Bitcoin's worth 52 million. There you go. It doesn't make sense to trade hard assets for hard assets. Trade fiat for hard assets. That's the secret, everybody. Now, another quick reminder to what this all means out there. And everybody just needs to get started because we are so early. I'll talk more about how early we are. But this is what you need today to own more Bitcoin than the average person. Now, we assume there'll never be more than 14 million Bitcoin because the Satoshi lockup is 1.04 million and lots are lost. and the population is nearly 8 billion. In fact, it'll be 8 billion very shortly. That means all you need to have more than the average person on Earth is $86 worth of Bitcoin, or 0.0018 Bitcoin. So, Clint, for having 0.2, you're well ahead of the game. And people are jumping in because what's happened now, we've gone from extreme fear to greed in a matter of days. And that drives FOMO, and that drives these types of questions, and that drives panic. But I think this time is very different because all the stuff that's happening. Now, let's talk about the where you rank in terms of our little sea creatures. So, quick reminder, a shrimp is somebody who's less than 1 Bitcoin. So, Clint, currently you qualify as a shrimp, but you want to be a crab. You want to have 1 to 10 Bitcoin, and then after that, 10 to 50 is octopus, fish 50 to 100, dolphin 100 to 500, shark 500 to 1,000, whale 1,000 to 5,000, and so on. Humpback whales are 5,000 or more. That'd be the LFG group, which their wallet yesterday was number 33, now it's number 32. 4 days ago is number 40. It's changing very rapidly. And my fear is the big money is coming in, the hedge funds, the whales, LFG Foundation, and they're gobbling all this up. These are experts. They know where it's going. Don't be left out. Now, in terms of our Bitcoin wealth pyramid, we did a quick little refresh of this today to show you where you stand. And what this kind of means is if you want to be in the top 5% of all Bitcoin holders, you need greater than 0.135 Bitcoin. So Clint, you're already in the top 5%, buddy, and anybody else out there. And that is worth, can't really see these numbers, $6,480 will get you into the top 5%. It doesn't take a lot. Now, to be in the top 2%, you need greater than 1.5 Bitcoin, 73,000 today. The top 1%, you need more than 3.6 Bitcoin. That's $172,000. Yes, it's a crazy large amount of money, but you would be in the top 1% of all Bitcoin holders. To be in the top half of 1%, you need greater than 6.8 Bitcoin. Cost you $250,000. And coincidentally, to be in the top 0.1%, you need more than 21 Bitcoin. And that would cost you just exactly $1 million today. But of course, these targets change all the time as the Bitcoin price changes, so beware of that. Now, the other thing is the whole coin status, and this is what we love. It's a great goal for everybody to try and achieve, is the top 2.5% of all Bitcoin holders are whole coiners or more, and that is the top 0.0044% of the world population. And again, 14 million Bitcoin, the max it'll ever be, world population nearly 8 billion, you'll be in a class of your own, and that's why it's important to achieve this. But we're coming to our life hacks. One more second. Top 10 Bitcoin would put you in the top 0.17% of all Bitcoin holders. That is very rarefied air. Now let's talk about our hacks to be a whole coiner, how to be a whole coiner fast. And let's just jump in and see what we got. So first of all, big thank you to Dr. Watson, who helped assemble this structure, this 5-step process. So as you know, everybody is now into the FIRE movement, the financial independence, retire early lifestyle. The secret today is investing now during this asymmetric bet of our lifetimes as much as you can, so you can retire well in 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be, 5 years, 3 years. That's what's important. So per this, the step number one is downsize and budget hard. So adopt the FIRE movement lifestyle. Check it out. Google it if you don't know what it is. If you have an apartment or a house, think about subletting it. Move in with your parents, your friends. Move to a cheaper domicile. Again, generate revenue. Don't incur an expensive lifestyle. Again, not for everybody, but for those that really want to achieve that retire early type status, this is what you do. If you have a car, sell it. Take Uber or a bicycle to get around. Ask your boss if you're working from home. I know somebody very close to me, they spend 2 hours a day of their life. $25 in tolls, $50 in gas every day, which would probably be $100 now with the gas prices. Every day. When you add up the cost of that over a year, it is staggering. But the big cost is the stress that it costs. So try work from home. Again, employers are very cooperative these days, apparently. Now, if you got student loans, apply for student loan forgiveness. Push the loan payment out. Apparently, Joe Biden, in his money printing frenzy, he's forgiving student loans. Check out, there's a finance.yahoo article out there, student loan forgiveness. And I think the SoFi CEO is on board with that as well. And if you've got anything else to value that you own, sell it. Sell it on eBay. Sell it somewhere. Take the cash and invest it. I'll give you a very interesting story about a watch one day, but that's a separate issue. And by the way, I did all this in late 2019, early 2020. I saw what was happening, got rid of everything, and went down this fire path. And now I'm trying to share all the little tips and tricks. Step number two, get paid in Bitcoin. Now, we've all heard a lot about this. After you've gotten rid of all your excess expenses and your luxury lifestyle, your Louis Vuitton purses and your Ferraris, now focus on putting Bitcoin away. The best way is take your paycheck or part of your paycheck in Bitcoin. Talk to your boss, tell him you want part of your check in Bitcoin. Go to the Strike app connected to your paycheck. Strike automatically converts your paycheck into Bitcoin. You don't even have to think about buying Bitcoin. It's all done. Just think about how much you need to live off. Some people can apparently live off about 30 to 33.5% of their paycheck, and that would allow you to save up to 67% of your paycheck straight into Bitcoin. Think of it as an automatic DCA and a good discipline to take some of the money out and help enforce that fire movement in your belly. Step number 3, side hustle. This is the gig economy, as I call it. You know, you can do so much. Call it moonlighting, work a little bit on the side. If you're working from home, do a consulting job on the side. If you hate your job and you've got a talent and you don't feel you're getting paid enough, do a little bit on the side to get paid. Now, you could drive an Uber, you could deliver for DoorDash, you could do handy jobs, etc. Get a freelance job in crypto, like Crypto Grind, XBT Freelancer, Coinality. Side businesses, you create NFTs, become a crypto advisor, create a crypto course, mint, mine, Bitcoin. There's so much other stuff. There's actually a cool article on Medium. There's the article here. Just Google 10 best side hustle ideas. There's something for everybody. You could even create a course, sell it on Udemy. I mean, the sky's the limit. Identify what you're good at, what you enjoy, find your niche, and then execute. Work hard. Step number 4 is get a new job. So the labor shortage and inflation is the best time to switch jobs. Amazon and many tech companies have just doubled their starting salaries. Remember, it's kind of weird. There's people that started a year ago are getting paid than people that started last week. So it's just how it works. Employers are terrible. HR departments are terrible at taking care of people. They are engineered to, like an insurance company is engineered to say no. A HR department is engineered to say no too. I need a rise. Nope. Sorry, we can't do that. But they bring on new people and pay them high salaries, so it's crazy. Anyway, they're very rigid despite runaway inflation. So think about dusting off your resume, going back out onto the job market and see what's out there for you. Again, with the market out there, you can probably get paid more. Some people just get comfortable in their jobs and places they work and they don't want to wander into something else. But think about that. If you're not paid what you're worth, bounce. Step number 5. This one is a little bit risky, then be very careful. I always say never borrow to speculate. But with the rampant accumulation of Bitcoin right now and the rampant debasement of fiat, if you can borrow at a fixed rate, why not? Anyway, if all of the 4 previous steps are not enough, think about this. You could take your 0.2 of a Bitcoin, or whatever fraction of Bitcoin you have, put it down as collateral, as a loan, and buy another little bit. This is number go up technology, but make sure, I'll zoom out for this, make sure you have the cash flow to be able to take care of a rainy day and make payments in case there is an adverse market reaction. We never know what could happen. Bitcoin could go down, etc. Overall trajectory is up, but we don't know if there's a black swan on the horizon, so be careful of that. Borrow against other hard assets if you have them. If you have a condo, an apartment, you've inherited something, who knows? And with your fire lifestyle, your new better paying job, your side business and your side hustles, you should be able to pay off your loan in no time, and then wash, rinse, repeat. Have a strategy, build a plan. This is what's so important, everybody. This is why I am so excited. We are so early. Can anybody remember the internet in 1997? I know, Clint, you can't because you weren't around. But Bitcoin has roughly the same amount of users as the internet had in 1997. If you ever saw a website page in 1997, you'd be like, what the hell is that? Anyway, this is what this is all about. So make it happen. You control your own destiny. We are so early, and this is the asymmetric bet of our lives. Now, there's other ways as well that you can buy Bitcoin. I've talked about this many, many times. There are things called proxies. For example, I just ran the numbers 20 minutes ago, and then you can become a whole coiner by owning things like MicroStrategy shares. It would cost 89.7 shares. I just remember the numbers in my head to own with one Bitcoin. That's about $45,000. And I personally have a lot of MicroStrategy through a lot of option strategies. Now, these are some of the top proxies that we like. They're ranked in terms of ratio of Bitcoin. And again, some of the valuations are kind of crazy, like GBTC, MicroStrategy. These are both today selling at a discount from where they are. Then you've got some of the Bitcoin miners out there. You've got Voyager Digital, Hut 8, Bitfarms, Argo, Marathon, etc. CleanSpark. These are other ways that you can actually build up that proxy Bitcoin. Again, as I mentioned, how many shares was it? 89, 90 shares of MicroStrategy. That's one Bitcoin, and that counts. But watch for dilution as well down the line. So with that, everybody, quick conclusion. Be calm. Make a plan. Less than 340,000 people on Earth out of 8 billion will ever own one Bitcoin. And people like Do Kwon is making it harder and harder because he's buying $125 million worth a day. So, and you think he'd jump in if he didn't have a reason? If he didn't think there was a good value at the end of it? This is number go up technology. This is so hard. It's so finite. Grab some if you can. And a big thank you to the moderators out there. Hope you like the content. Thank you again, Bomb Big. You're too kind. And just one more. Very good. As you know, we donate everything. Thank you all, everybody. Hope this helped. Tell your friends, tell your family. Build a plan, build a structure, and make it happen as we are on the cusp of just under 48K. Thanks all. Have a good evening. Bye.